Hola. I'm still learning everything, but I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna get it. Uh, how's everyone doing? Got another day here of crap. Come on, another Aspire Beast Council. Um, so we'll be going over a property today. Again, my name is Charles Anthony. I'm your real estate investment broker with Next Home My Way and Raise the Standard Real Estate, um, showcasing Aspire Beast Council calculator that we created for our Inspire meetup group, just to help individuals have a system to analyze deals, right? So the whole point of it is to break down deals so that they can smoothly move forward, right? It's a funnel. It's basically a funnel. It's not a be all end all. As I tell people, analyzing deals is all on paper. Each line item, that's a individual in real life, right? Your rent, that's a person. Um, Water bill, that's the government, right? Electric bill, that's a company. Snow removal, that's a person, right? That's a business that you have to pay. So each line item is an individual or business that you have to pay, and those things can change, right? So hopefully, running these deals or these analyzing will just help put things in a better picture so that you can move forward, right? At the end of the day, this is all this is going to do is just say, hey, should I move forward? Should I schedule that showing? Or I already went on that showing. I reran my numbers. Should I put an offer in? Or do I need to go get a general contractor to go with me and analyze what the rehab budget is going to be, right? So at the end of the day, this is supposed to help lower the risk, right? That's as an investment broker that I work with my clients. All I tell them is that I'm helping trying to lower the risk so that you can move forward and make a decision, right? Because once you get out in the real world, things happen, right? You can close on a Monday and a fire happens on a Wednesday. Well, you didn't have that in your budget, right? But you had insurance. Insurance was in your budget. So now your insurance should cover that so that you're able to recover from that tragedy, right? A tenant, you you said, hey, I'm going to have a tenant in there. Well, tenant didn't like that things are changing. So now they want to move out, and maybe they move out without giving you a 60-day notice. Well, then there you go, right? Now, all of a sudden, you got 3 months where you're not collecting any rent, and now you got to go in there and fix the property up. Well, you wasn't expecting to do that for a year. These are all things that you hope with running analysis it prepares you for, but it doesn't necessarily mean the thing that you were putting in this documentation is going to be the same thing that happens in life, right? So again, this is just to help you guys. So I working with our team with Aspire, Ryan, Seth, Nathan, other Ryan Jones, and Devin work together to collaborate with what is something that would help the individuals that we want to help, right? We are just trying to aspire more investors because you have to do this as a team, and hopefully you'll be getting something out of this. So again, I'm gonna just say Aspire Business Council, our ABC, is a disciplined real estate underwriting authority that evaluates deals using fixed rules, conservative assumptions, and binary rulings. It enforces capital protection, kill switch, and governs grade scoring to decide one thing: does the deal survive or fail? That's it. That's all it does, right? It's to help you move forward. So the way I broke it down is Aspire is literally acronym for the calculator. A is asset address. It is literally what is the address? What does it all entail? Um, uh, what about that property? Just the general information. Is a duplex, 2 bedroom, 1 bath, all those type of things, right? It square footage, whatever. S is for seller situation, right? Who owns it? Is it a person? Is it a business? Is it a bank? Is it wholesaling, right? Is it on the market? Is it off the market, right? So just framing it now, that can help with your negotiations, right? If it's wholesaling, they in a situation, well, now we can bid a certain way. If it's on the market and it's only been on the market for 5 days, that's different if it's been on the market for 105 days, right? Um, P, purchase price. What is it currently on the market for? What are they asking for? And what do you think you should be buying it for? I is for improvements or investments into the property. Is there anything that we need to do to improve the property to get it where we want it to be? R is for revenue. Is there a rental? Are we going to do a buy and hold? Are we going to do a burr if are we going to fix and flip? So that's the revenue. And then E is the exit strategy, which goes back to what we just said, which it goes over 5 exit strategies. It's buy and hold, the burr method, fix and flip, seller creative, I would say seller financing or creative seller, seller financing or wholesaling. So those are the 5 scenarios that we can have to how to exit. So that is pretty much what the calculator is going to go through. And so without further ado, let's step into the calculator. So again, this is the calculator. I have it with ChatGPT. Let me close that. And so this is how I use it. So again, because I am a licensed broker in the state of Wisconsin, I got to be a little bit careful with certain things. So I tend to, like Bigger Pockets, they tend to pick things that are actively on the market. I try to avoid that just because I don't want to say something's a bad deal when it's still on the market and someone gets mad at me, because that will happen. Um, so let's pick the property that I'm going to go over. So I am going to pick, let me see here. I already got it. So this property closed late last year. So I'm going to put the address in here, and then we're going to start the process. So 2822 North 50th Street, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 53210. It is a duplex. So it's going to go through the stuff. So obviously I gave it the address. It does pull some pictures. Some of them are usually is of the property, so that this is the property, and then it gives you pictures of other things in the neighborhood, so you can kind of tell what's in the neighborhood or what's in the area. I do like that. Sometimes it doesn't always pick the right property, but it's been really good with actually gathering the right picture of that property. So you got some information from me, right? We put the zip code in, so it's 53210. It appears to be a residential, but see, it's saying likely single family. That's not what it is. It's market class 6-story mixed C class pocket within Milwaukee. I agree with that. Investor activity, moderate retail activity. So, and I agree with that. Most of the in these neighborhoods, you're going to find a lot of duplexes. So you tend to have a lot of investors in these areas. So now it's going to ask property type. So I'm going to actually go in here. And so I'm not going to type it. That's why I like about this calculator. I can actually speak to it. So that's what I'm going to actually do. So I'm going to say property type, it's a duplex. Square footage is 2,509 square feet. Bath count, it's 2 bedroom, 1 bath each unit. And it was built in 1924. I believe this might need some light rehab. And at the time that it was on the market, it was one unit was occupied, the other unit was vacant. So we'll put that in there. It should be able to just pull that information out. Now I don't have to type it. which, like I said, is the luxury of this because most of the deal calculators, you got to type everything out and things of that nature. So I can just speak to it. So it's already telling me like 1924 construction. So these are some of the risks that you might consider, especially if they haven't updated those things. Um, because of this duplex structure, it's going to kind of tell you what are the things you can consider buying Hohenberg, right? That's pretty much the typical. You can do a key turn, right? You can fix it up and fix and flip it and just have it for the next investor who doesn't want to do all those things. Um, so before we move forward, it kind of skipped. So it's address as, but I'm going to go in there and say, um, before we move to P, let's use S. This was a seller individual. Um, Property was on the market for at least 17 days, so the seller was not um, in a need to sell right away. Let's put that in there before we move to P. So occupancy, seller individual is telling me that, no visible distress, things of that nature. Um, Leverage favors the seller because one unit is occupied. So there is some rental coming in. Typically, you will find this where most sellers eventually want to sell when someone moves out because then it makes it easier for you to look at the property. I will always suggest to my clients, if that's the case, sometimes they'll be like, hey, you can only see this unit. And then after 48 hours or something, like that, or 24 hours, or if you want to, after you see that, you want to see the other one, you can. I have sometimes where my client wants to write their offer after we see the one. And then typically I put in the contract that we get to see the property within 72 days of the accepted offer. So always protect yourself. Obviously, you're going to be able to see everything when you have the inspection, but maybe you don't even want to do the inspection because you're going to pay out, $500 for you to have an inspector, and you may want to see it before you even do that. So I always suggest that. It gives some more information, like I said, this is why I like it. You're kind of having a conversation with the calculator. It's telling you other information so that you can better prepare yourself to make the best decision. So now it's saying purchase price and purchase assumption. So it's saying asking and contract price. So it had it on the market at 142. It's sold at 132. So we're going to say that. And then I have the market rents as well. Um, they were renting one of them out for 11.58. Now I have to assume that this might be Section 8 or Section 42 just because of the amount. Because right now, average rent in that area is around 900 to about 1,000. So I can see that it working. This was a year ago, but we're gonna do that. And then the budget, rehab budget, I'm gonna say probably need to do 20 to 25, and then I'm gonna say a DSCR loan. So that's what we're gonna do. So asking price is 142.9, 142,900. We're going to offer 132,000. The estimated market rents are $1,000. They do have one rented at 11.58, so we can put that in there. And then the rehab budget, we're going to put about 25,000 in there. And then the financing structure, we're going to use a DSCR loan. Right now, we can get 7% with interest rate with a 15% down payment. All right, so asking price 142.9. We're going to offer 132 with a rehab of 25,000. Financing and DSCR loan 15.7. That's what we say. A purchase price. So down payment will only need about 20, roughly, right? And loan amount will be 112. Estimated cost is 3%, so around $4,000. So right off the bat, we're all in 23,000. So I'll roughly say 24, and then with the rehab will be all in 50,000. So we have in there in place rent is 111.58, and then I'm saying market rate, a market estimate is 1,000. So we got a roughly 21.58. Annual gross rent is 25,896. 60% of that, we're going to just say it's about 15,537. Debt cover ratio, estimated annual debt is 8,950. So we are at a whopping 1.73 for a DSCR loan. Typically, as you can see down here, you're going to have banks that probably want 1.15, 1.2. Obviously, we're surpassing that. So this already looks like a good deal. So cash flow return. So minus the 8,000, minus the 8, roughly 9,000, 8,950. We have that for the debt cover ratio. We already took out 60%, right? So because we already assumed that 40% of that is taking care of expenses. So now we have a cash on cash return of 13%, 13.5%. So most people, if you don't understand what cash on cash return, all it is saying, if I invest $1 in this situation, I'm gonna get $1.13, or let's say $1.14 back. So that's all it is, right? So people get confused with this. What is cash on cash return? Basically, it's saying I invested $1 in this situation, I'm gonna get $1.14 back. To me, that's a great, that's a great return on your investment. That's really, and so like rental minimum requirement is 8%. We're already getting 13. So this is already looking like a great deal for us even with the investment, and putting 50,000 in there. So Milwaukee duplex in the C-class area is roughly around 150, 175. So we're going to go with a conservative with 165. Well, we are putting, we bought it at 130. We putting 15% down, and then we put 25,000 in it. So right now we're all in 160. If the ARV is 165, estimated resale cost is 8%. That's 13,000. Net sales, so it's 151. Lost position, so we're already down 9,000. So flip does not work for this. So even if we fixed it up, got it rented out where we wanted, and say, hey, let's turn around and sell it. So a turnkey investment here does not work. So now it's going to go through best and worst. So right now it's showing that this is a buy and hold. The bird kind of doesn't help because we would actually need the ARV to be a little bit higher. So creative, low probability because it's on the market. So that's not going to really work. And then the seller, like I said, it was under 17 days when I pulled it. So there's no reason for the seller to be creative and want to work with you. And then wholesaling really is not there because it's already on the market. And then again, flip doesn't work. So now, because we put all that information in there, the council, our Aspire Beast Council, would say this is a good deal. It finds the DSCR meets it minimum threshold. The cash on cash return exceeds required performance, and it protects existing, stabilized rent profile. So the council actually scores it at 82%. So what I've broken down is that there's different categories that it's scored in, and then as we give it more information, it actually gives you a better score. So for example, if this was a bad deal, I could still get like a score of like a 30 or 40 because of all the information I put in there. So we try to encourage individuals who eventually use this calculator to get as much information, because the more information you have in there, the better you can feel confident of moving forward. So then the council breaks down, hey, strong DSCR buffer, double-digit cash on cash return, in-place rent above pro forma. So even I put 1,000, there is rent in there that shows that it's above that. They're still going to say, hey, 1924, there's going to be some things that you need to update if those things were not already updated. 25,000, that might be a rehab underestimation based on the things that need to get done, especially if there's a roof, there's mechanicals that need to get done. All those things don't really help raise the rent, right? Those are things that are going towards the home to sustain it, which is awesome, but someone's not going to pay a higher rent for a new roof. Um, so because I just told it the rent, I didn't really give it information. So again, because I only work with investors, there's certain resources and tools that I use. So for example, I use Rental Meter. So what I could do is download the Rental Meter form, which I took that information from and put that in here, and then it will actually validate it. If I actually got a rehab person to give me a scope of work and actually go through it and put that in there, it would actually help as well. And then we did not give insurance and tax confirmation. So those are things that would help your score get better if you put those things in there so that it can better accommodate for that. Obviously, it took 40% of the net operating income. The gross rent that we took to get our net operating income. So that 40% should have included the insurance and taxes. It's saying to improve this, to make this even better, to score it at 85, you should try to get the rents up to 2,300. Well, one is 1158. So basically, I need to rent the other one out for 1150. If I do that, that makes this even better. This is the part I also love about this part, this calculator. It tells you other things you can do to keep moving forward, right? So even if it's a bad deal, it still gives you 5 steps that you can take to see if you can do this deal and move forward with it, or just get rid of it. But it gives you steps to move forward, and that's what we're all about. We're all about making sure we're moving forward. Even when you have a bad deal, you should be doing something to see, okay, how can I make this deal possible, right? So I always tell people 3 things about a deal that you kind of want to look for. One, the property. Is the property in shape? As an investor, you don't really want the property in shape, right? Because I want issues. If I have issues, that means there's a value add situation that I can do, right? I want something wrong with the property so I can fix it, and I can take advantage of that improvement. What a lot of times you get is when you have what I would say uneducated sellers in the market and uneducated agents in the market, is that people will put the property on the market at the amount that it would be if I actually fixed it up, right? Hey, well, the rents can be, like, for example, rents in this situation, rents could be 1,300, so therefore I'm going to sell this property at 190. Well, you didn't do that. So why would I buy it from you at 190 when I need to fix it up and put it at that point? Just because you know it can get there doesn't mean you should be reaping the benefits of my work. Because if I put the work in it and buy it at 190, I'm losing. So what it was saying is, hey, get 3 rental comps in the area to verify everything that, it can't be 1,150, right? Or $1,000. Confirm actual tax bill, insurance quote. So those are some of the things now, like, hey, before I put an offer on this deal, let me confirm the tax bill and let me go get an insurance quote. In my 25,000, I didn't necessarily put a contingency in there. So is the contingency already built in that 25,000, or should we put more? And if that's the case, that makes my $25,000 rehab shorter than what it's supposed to be. I should need to get more. And then you go confirm with your DSCR loan. Hey, can I actually get the 7%? Do I actually need to put 15% down? Can I put 10% down, right? And then it says, hey, when you go through there, schedule your showing, right? This is kind of basically what we're saying. Inspect the plumbing stack and the electrical panel to make sure it's up to date. So these are things that you can do to make sure that you keep moving forward with the deal, so that you are not just sitting on your hands, right? The whole goal of being a part of Aspire is that we're helping you keep moving forward to get a deal done and keep building that real estate portfolio. And then it said your assignment, and then it gives you assignment: validate rents and CapEx risk before locking financing. So let's make sure, like, hey, is the roof up to date? If those things are not up to date, then that's something else that you have to take in consideration. Let's make sure that we can get the 1150. Maybe we can get the 1150, or is like I said, is it section 42 in one of them? If that's the case, do I need to go do the things necessary to be able to rent to other section 8 or section 42? Those are great ways to ensure that you are getting the best rent, especially in Milwaukee. Milwaukee has revamped its section 42 and section 8 program, where they actually have account managers overseeing it, so that you're not necessarily dealing directly with the tenant. You're dealing with the city, because they're the one that's paying you. And if there's issues, they got programs in place where they will fix up your property if the tenant messes up anything. And if the tenant is just a bad fit for you, they will help you get that tenant out without having to evict them, so that the tenant can move on to a different place so they can still take advantage of the program. And then they make sure they leave you in a good situation so that, hey, maybe they can give you someone else and keep the party going. So that's this problem. I mean, that's this property that we ran through. Again, Aspire. A, asset address. S, seller situation. P, purchase assumption. I, improvement investment. R, revenue. And E, exit. Those are some of the things that we want you to take advantage of and look at and how to analyze it. Even if you don't have this calculator, that's a great way to just say, hey, back of the napkin, hey, what is the address? What is it? Okay, this is a duplex, or this is a single family. Single family. Hey, is this a fix and flip opportunity? Is this an AR, Airbnb situation? Is it a midterm rental, short-term rental, right? Those are different things that basically off the address and the asset that you can start saying, okay, I think this is going to be one of my exit strategies, right? Most of the time when I look at a single family, it's going to either be a fix and flip or a short-term rental, or one of those situations, right? Not to say a duplex can't be that, and not to say a duplex can't be a fix and flip. It's just more often than not, when I do a deal with the single family, I'm going to look at to be a fix and flip. So going back to this, obviously, that's the calculator. That's what we run. But I just want to share with some other things before we head out. Some of the things that we are offering. So obviously, to be part of Aspire, we do offer a $29 membership where you get access to the meetup group that we do once a month, the second Wednesday of every month, located at our Next Home My Way headquarters, off across the street from the airport, 5151 South Powell Avenue. It starts at 5:30, go to 7:30. We tend to try to do most of that online at the beginning, and then there's a certain part where we turn it off, and then it's the people that's there that gets to take advantage. We try to have food, some drinks there, and we tell people to bring their laptop, because we actually try to run deals while we're there. We try to be a little bit different than the other meetup groups that are around. We actually try to run deals like what we're doing right now. We try to actually run deals instead of just having conversations with people. We actually try to get to work. The second one we have is the 147. Now, obviously, you get everything in the standard. You get access to more education. We do have a 90-day program that we'll be rolling out, that we're kind of rolling out right now. We're doing a soft rollout of that program. That's an extra fee that you have to pay for that one, but this gives you access to all the other education that we have in our school program. You also get the meetup group, and then you get some access to some of our members. And then our final is the VIP. This is obviously you get everything in standard and premium, but then you get access to our leadership and our administrative staff, and just helping you work through things of that nature. Something else that I like to offer and help you one-on-one. So because I am a real estate investment broker, I only work with investors. I do offer different little programs, like, for example, the RTS Deal Council Starter. If you're struggling with running deals, this is what I'll do. You pay monthly for it. I'll run 10 deals a month for you. And if, I can go to the property, analyze, not only just analyze the deal for you, but go to the property, take videos of it, point certain things out, give you a rough estimate of what the rehab will be of that nature. Typically, I'll turn this around in 24 I would say around 48 hours in this situation. The Deal Council Pro, you get everything in starter, but everything is a little bit quicker. You get a 24-hour turnaround, and then you get more access to me as well. You get a couple more sessions. And then the Elite one, this is same thing. You get unlimited deal analysis on properties, going to properties, videotaping them, and getting that done for you as well. and then you get one-on-one sessions with me as also. Again, these are just extra add-ons for you guys so that you get the help you need, right? As I try to tell everyone, this is not a one-on-one business. This is a team sport. You cannot do this by yourself. I know a lot of books try to put in there that, you can do this, go and change plumbing on the weekend. And I just tell people, like, that's not what this for. The beauty I've gotten out of this is that I was able to give jobs to people, right? One of the greatest things I felt like I ever did was that I had a contractor working on an apartment, 8-unit apartment building I had, and I was feeding him and his crew for 8 months straight. That gave me, immense pride that, people were eating because I was doing business, right? And that's a beautiful thing that you can do when you're doing real estate. This has a huge impact on our community. And that's part of the reason why I call my company Raise the Standard. It's because I want to raise the standard for me, my family, my clients, and the communities I serve, right? And that's kind of what Aspiring is doing. Aspiring is aspiring individuals to invest and to go after their dreams, right? Like, I'm not trying to sound cliche, but we're just hoping that people aspire to do more, right? Our creator of Aspire, he has 67 units, Brian, and he's living the life. And I hope he doesn't get mad at me, but like, if you saw him, like, you wouldn't think that he is living off of that, because that's how he carries himself. Like, he likes wearing his sweaters and things like that. He doesn't try to be very flashy, and that's what I love about him, is that he's very down to earth. He wants to share this, and that's one of the reasons why he started doing this. He had the wherewithal to take over some of the properties that his family had. He bought I believe a duplex or triplex with his wife, and they started building from there, right? He sacrificed. He bought a triplex. Instead of moving in the 3-bedroom that they had in that unit, he moved in one of the 1-bedrooms so that they can rent out the lower one and then have to pay as much. And that was a sacrifice, right? Those are some of the people that you will have access to help you build your business. Because at the end of the day, as I say as a slogan, as a real estate investment broker, is that you're not buying a property, you're buying a business. It just so happens to be a property, right? You're not buying a home to live in, because a home to live in is a liability. Point blank, you can't tell me anything. Well, I have equity in it. Again, that's paper money. I always tell people that any equity you have and you're not taking advantage of, either with a cash out refi, HELOC, or you're selling it, it's paper money. So just like the market is shifting, you could have $50,000 one day, and 3 months later, you're sitting at $25,000 because someone doesn't want to buy it at that amount. So, and you go try to appraise it, now it's less. So if you don't take advantage of your equity, it's paper money. So, so if you're buying a home, you're buying a liability. Now, unless you move someone in one of your units and you have them pay you rent, now you're house hacking. Now you have an asset. But if every month you losing money, you paying stuff out because your water bill, your electric bill, whatever, all those bills, that's a liability. So we're trying to shift people mindset of, let's get assets, right? And as I tell my clients, you want that new car? Let's get a duplex. You want to go on those vacations? Let's go get a 4-unit. You want the new house? Let's go get a 6-unit. So the 6-unit pays for your new house. So that if the market shifts or you lose your job, it don't matter, because you have an asset that's paying for itself, and then it's paying for the things you want in your life. That's what I aspire to, and that's what I aspire all the people we work with. So that's it for me today. Again, if you are interested in any of the things that I share with you, again, you can join the Aspire. I say take full advantage of the $29. This will get you started, get you into the the monthly meetings. That will actually get you access to school where you can ask deeper questions. You can get more access to us because everyone on our team is in real estate. We're doing it, right? We have me as I'm a real estate investment broker. I've had investments. Seth, he's another real estate agent. He's got investments. Ryan, like I said, he's the monster of our group. He has 60 plus units. Ryan Jones, he's our fix and flip master. He's our general contractor, connoisseur. He knows it. He walks in the house and knows what needs to be fixed and what needs to be corrected. Nathan, he's our Airbnb expert. He has property down. He's arbitraging property in Texas, and he's up in Wisconsin. And then Devin is our commercial broker mastermind, and he's currently house hacking. So we're all in it. We're all living the dream. We're all in it. We're pursuing to be bigger and better. And we just wanted to provide this community because at the end of the day, this community is self-serving. Everyone in our community either is can help you build your business or is a service member in the sense of it provides service so that you can live this business, right? We have access to loan officers, we have access to inspectors, we have access to electrical people, general contractors, all the above. So thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. Again, we'll be here every Tuesday at noon for your lunch and learn. And then I also do a RTS Deal Council Wednesdays at 7 p.m. as well. So we can get those people that's after work that's considering this as well. Thank you for joining me. Again, Charles Anthony, your real estate investment broker. Beleza. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.